Guilty Gear XRD.
Hello everybody, this is Adam with Transparency Pro the Game Machine, bringing you a brand new review. I'm doing a review again. Yay! Took me long enough. And as you can see, I'm flipping things here with my hand. Why am I flipping things with my hand? Because I want to show you something that's very metal today. So, what's more metal than an anime fighting game? Nothing! This is Guilty Gear XRD Sign. XRD, standing for the third Guilty Gear game. Well, actually, it's not the third, but apparently it's supposed to be X to the 3, and I guess triple X, you know, they didn't want to confuse this with the Vin Diesel movie. You know, it's easy to confuse these things sometimes. So, we are seeing a grand return to the Guilty Gear franchise. Now, this is a Japanese copy. The American copy, North American copy, is out in some places already, officially out on the 16th. My limited edition is delayed. But for right now, we have the Japanese copy, fully in English, ready to do a full review. So, let's get started. Are you ready to rock? Let's rock. Is that metal? Is that metal? Maybe I do a guitar shred? Is that metal? Alright, awesome.
Get ready to rock.
Guilty Gear is one of the greatest fighting game series, period, but it never got the recognition it deserves. It combines anime, heavy metal, high-octane 2D fighting action. Arc System Works has proven they know how to make a killer 2D fighting game, but now they have stepped into the realm of 3D with Guilty Gear XRD. While not their first 3D game, this is probably one of the greatest leaps yet. Arc uses the Unreal 3 engine, yep, I said Unreal 3, to give this game a cel-shaded look that is some of the best cel shading I've ever seen. This doesn't look like 3D polygons with some tracing on it, it looks like something that came out of anime production. XRD also features dynamic camera angles when launching opponents into the air or even when doing super moves. It adds a new layer to the game that you just don't see too often, and I hope more fighting games adapt this. Characters, environments, all animate so well and it's so gorgeous, and you have a great roster of classic characters, and with some new ones as well, though a few favorites are missing, and I don't quite understand why. Put them in there, guys! We want our biking, we want our jams, we want our Johnnies! Put them in there. Music is another staple of the Guilty Gear series, and XRD delivers it in spades. It's a mix of original heavy metal and classic rock style tracks that will have your head banging in the best way possible. You also can unlock the classic Guilty Gear tracks like the amazing Lone in the Dark. Characters are voiced pretty well for the most part, though there are a few that may make you scratch your head. Like how some old bad guy decided he wanted to be Christopher Nolan's Batman.
Glad to see you figured it out. Hope you haven't gotten soft.
How foolish. One does not sit long on the throne with a dull blade.
Good.
My gosh, with his voice so gravelly like that, I need to get him a lozenge. Eesh.
Go take a nap.
Okay, so it did grow on me a little bit, but I do really love how they gave Axel such a heavy British accent, so finally, I can be called a wanker in proper English.
Go easy on me, okay?
And Japanese audio tracks are there for those who want that. Fun fact, Daisuke Ishiwatari, the man behind Guilty Gear, does Soul Bad Guy's voice in Japan. And remember, knowing is half the review. Hooray for lame pop culture references.
Go take a nap.
The story mode of Arc System Works games are ones you're really going to love or you're going to hate. They usually involve very minimal gameplay and are very heavy on dialogue and character stills. This time there's no real gameplay in the mode, not even some random fight sprinkled in. So you just sit back, relax, and watch the experience, which is very entertaining. While not an easy one to explain, the world is on the verge of being destroyed by an evil council of evil, along with some other people who seem to be pulling a lot more strings. So it's up to Soul, Kai, and his abandoned son Sin. Yep, Kai has a kid and he pawned him off on Soul. So much for being an honorable knight, more like king of the deadbeat dads. Okay, I'm kidding there. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. It's not like his son's the brightest in the world anyways. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Right. So the story is very dialogue heavy, but the characters are animated, and some of the story bits are really action-packed. I would show it off to you, but Arc System Works is not very fond of their story modes being shown off, so you'll get to see some of the arcade mode, which is recommended to play first as it's kind of a prequel to the main story. Another cool thing about the arcade mode is if you pick an alternate color, it's also used in the cutscenes, which is really awesome. The story is fun, it's very anime, but I recommend definitely reading the game's little compendium before you start the story mode, because it's going to assume that you know a lot of the little intricacies of the universe. And if you care about this universe, you're gonna love it.
This has been a surprisingly fun little detour.
So, has the transition from pure 2D hand-drawn sprites to 3D models translate into a really fun fighting game? Heck yeah, baby! While being in 3D, it still keeps that amazing 2D gameplay that the series is known for. I feel that they really step it up and really refine the game. While there's a lot of mechanics to learn, and sometimes that can be a lot to keep up with, you really don't need to master all of it. Especially if you're just wanting to play with friends. But if you're playing online or in tournaments, then there's still a lot of stuff you can learn and master. There are some new mechanics, of course new characters, and even some new moves for those particular characters. Like our Father of the Year, Kai, he can hit the dust button to create an electrical ring, which he can use to amplify his lightning projectiles. One of the other cool new game mechanics is that the random clash attacks will actually kind of trigger an X-Factor-like state for both you and your opponent. What this does is both of you are pretty weak to each other's attacks for a short period of time. It can turn the tide of the battle, but no one person really has an advantage over the other. And of course, no Guilty Gear game would be complete without the insta-kills. They have been dialed up to 1,000. Now with 3D models, more than ever, they can be more over the top. Some are really cool, and some of them are just really fun. Like Elfelt, for example, the DLC character.
Go take a nap.
XRD is solid in the gameplay department, but what about the other game modes and the online? You of course have story mode, arcade mode, practice mode, and a few other staples of the Arc System games. The mom mode also returns. No, I'm not about to make a joke about Sin's mom. Heaven knows that I've kicked that poor boy in the nuts way too many times, so I'm gonna give him a break. The mom mode returns, which is a series of fights you can earn medals in, and to earn these medals you fight various characters that, for example, can have greater stat boosts than you, can have attributes such as boosted health, you could be poisoned, or have some other kind of handicap. Challenge mode teaches you how to play with all the various characters, and we'll even show you how to do some combos. And there's also a very funny training style mode that will teach you the complete basics of the game. Basically, it's the Adventures of Soul, teaching the child that nobody loves Sin how to be a better fighter. Also, Sin is unlockable, but costs 200,000 world dollars. So let's break that down, kids. So, you want to beat the story mode, finish the training mode, do some of the character challenges, and even clear out some of the characters' arcade modes before you can earn that amount of money. So you're going to have to do a lot of grinding. Or you could pay for him as DLC, but don't do that. I will say though, he is a very fun character to play with, and is quite unique. One of the things that he has is that he has to eat, or else he'll get fatigued. I don't know if that's a balancing mechanic or what, but I thought that was kind of a neat thing to add in. Of course, also in the gallery mode, you can not only unlock Sin, but you can also unlock artwork and even classic music from the Guilty Gear games, as mentioned before. Okay, so let's get to the nitty-gritty. How is the online? How is the netcode? So let's talk about the netcode real quick. I will say this. I didn't think the netcode was that bad. I thought it worked pretty well for the most part. I know there's been a lot of people, especially people in the fighting game community, really complained about it, but I think that they're complaining that it's not the rollback netcode that you've seen in a lot of other games. Frankly, I despise rollback netcode because that really messes me up when I'm doing a move and then all of a sudden it kind of rewinds me back again. So I felt like the netcode wasn't bad. Yeah, it gets a little chuggy at times, and I did sometimes have trouble connecting to rooms for ranked matches, but for the most part it ran pretty well. It even has a little counter at the top to show you frame delay, so for those really hardcore junkies of online fighting games, you at least know what to expect before going into a match and kind of can adjust accordingly. Also, did I mention that this thing is cross-platform play? No matter if you have a PS3 copy or PS4 copy, this game you'll be able to play with one another. I played against PS3 and PS4 players in lobbies. It ran pretty well and it was really fun, and I just think that's a cool feature that more games just need to have on it. Okay, so there is a downside to some of this. So, as far as the online lobbies go, they're very confusing. Now, on the PS3, from what I've read online, you can invite friends. On the PS4 version, you can't do it. I've looked everywhere. There is no way to invite people. Basically, you have to create a room and hope your friends can find it. You have to message them, tell them that you're going to be here in this lobby, in this region. You know, it's a mess. And I'm baffled as to why that's on the PS4 version. You can set up a password so only your friends can get in, but then that's an extra layer of complication you have to add. And I don't understand why this is excluded. I'm hoping that maybe this gets patched in, but it's probably one of the worst aspects of this game, and that's something I wish they would fix. Now, granted, you could probably go into an empty lobby somewhere and just tell your friends to go to the empty lobby, but, you know, that's an extra layer that just complicates things, and it shouldn't be that complicated. But other than that, this is probably one of the best fighting games of this year, and you shouldn't feel guilty playing it. So, let me know, guys, if you picked up Guilty Gear XRD already. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Have you not played it yet? What are you most excited about? So, I guess pretty much what I have to say about this game is that it is a rockin', headbanging good time, and you should definitely play it. Oh yeah, let's rock, baby. So, till next time, rock on!
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but if you want a country, you've got to go through the proper channels.
Good.